Hello guys, welcome to Thermomix Adventures. Lisa here. I hope you're having a great day. It is lunchtime and I need to get some food ready for the kids and we're going to have sushi. So with that, I need something to put on the sushi. So they've done the sushi rice in the Thermomix. Really simple, 20 minutes, it's done. That's amazing. Now what I'm going to do is do the protein. Now you can see I've got a mushroom recipe up. I'm not using it. Okay, straight out of the gate, I'm telling you I'm not using this recipe. I'm going to cook off some strips of chicken, not using this recipe today. What I am going to do though is I'm going to use the steps within this recipe to access high heat. Now if you're on a TM31 or a TM5, you're going to need to use reverse Verona. Okay, that's how you're going to have to cook your meat. It's not going to quite get as seared as it is in a TM6. However, that would not stop me from doing it, okay, if I had a TM31 or a TM5. Those of you who have a TM6, we've got high heat built into recipes, okay? So even if you haven't got Cookidoo, you've still got the basic cookbook, and in there are high heat recipes you can pull on and hack them, okay? So I'm hacking this because I've got approximately 400 grams of chicken sliced up, and I'm just going to use that step. Now, if you're watching on today, say hello. I'd love to know you're there. If you're on Facebook, say hi. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. It's always great to see you. And of course, share these videos, okay? If you've got somebody you know who has a Thermomix, flick them a video. Go, oh my gosh, you need to watch this. Let's get more out of our Thermomix. It's so nice to have people around you who talk the same language as you, who can cook with a Thermomix and inspire, to send recipes to each other and go, oh my gosh, have you tried this? Like, there are so many recipes there to cook with, right? So if you haven't yet shared a recipe, a video with someone, send it off, okay? Share. Let's create a community around each of you so you get more and more out of it. So much more fun when you do it with friends. So with this recipe, we're going to scroll down. It's going to require 2 ingredients. Now, ordinarily, they steam mushrooms in the Verona for 3 minutes. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come down here to the high heat step, and it says to place 20 grams of the dog's in a hurry, olive oil into the bowl. Okay, isn't this a cool little tool? If you want a link to it, I think there's one I put the description below, I think. Hello, Julie, lovely to see you on today. Description on YouTube, by the way, those of you watching on Facebook, okay? So that's where I recommend you go check it out. Some of those links do have like an affiliate thing, so I get a little kickoff from it, like $2 or something like that if you go buy it, linked through to that. So thank you for those of you who do that, okay? Every bit adds up, so I do appreciate that. Add your steamed mushrooms. So obviously no steamed mushrooms, as you've figured by now. Sliced up chicken thigh in my case. I'm not even going to weigh it, okay? Something to note though when you're doing high heat, or even if you're using your TM31 or your TM5, is spread it around the blades. You don't want a big hunk sitting on top, okay? If you do that, it's not obviously going to cook well, or it's going to take significantly longer to cook. All right, next up. Now it says splash guard. I have a confession to make. I can't find mine. I went to Brisbane on the weekend, you guys know that. I've shared that with you. And I did some demos. I don't know if I've left it somewhere. So I'm going to have to do something that's not the normal way to do it, and it's not ideal, but I need chicken for lunch. So sometimes you do that in your kitchen, right? You don't do the exact way it's supposed to do. So ideally on a TM6, we put a splash guard on. And the splash guard has this way of actually allowing the moisture out so that it doesn't pool on your food and actually like boil off rather than sear off, because the bottom plate on your bowl is what then gets really, really piping hot and becomes like a saucepan or a fry pan, more a fry pan in this case, okay? So I can't find it. I took a while to look, still can't find it. So it's lunchtime. We just got to do it. So what am I going to use instead? Now there's 2 options in my kitchen. Both are Thermomix options. Please don't go use something that's a non-Thermomix accessory, okay? So we don't, the ones that you get with your Thermomix or in the mix shop are tried, true and tested, all right? No using anything else. I have a simmering basket. It has rice in it at the moment, okay? Otherwise, and I would sometimes just put that on top, but it's not ideal. The moisture, and by the way, just bear with me while I explain things. I want you to have the understanding of why sometimes you can make a different decision. So I'm not just saying I'm doing this today and leave it at that. I want to tell you why I'm doing it, okay? So that you then, when you have to make decisions, maybe you'll make it a bit more educated on it, yeah? So I could put that basket of rice on top, but then the moisture from the chicken, that evaporation is going to fall back in and stay inside. Not ideal. I would do it if I had to, definitely, but not ideal, okay? I do have a spare simmering basket. I didn't want to dirty it. What I've got instead is the Voroma. Now the Voroma was used, and you'll see the ring on it of starch that was used to cook the rice. So when we do the rice, it's inside, there's water under it, it's boiling through, and then of course you get the starchy water, right? And that, if you don't have your simmering basket in place, I wonder if anyone's game enough to say, hey, I've done that, you will end up with bubbles, okay? All outside your Thermomix, down your Thermomix on your bench, it's a big starchy mess. You can't really avoid it except by using the Voroma on top, and it acts like a funnel and contains that starchy bubbly water. Okay, so I thought this will do because it's already dirty, so it's going to go through the dishwasher anyway, and it's going to allow steam through. Now, is it going to be as great as a splash guard? No, but sometimes you make those changes, right? Because it's either that or no lunch. So we just go done. Now it's got 14 minutes. 14 minutes is way too long for my chicken at this point in time. Okay, I've done it quite thin, and I did it thinly intentionally because I want it to take about 7 minutes. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to scale it back to 7. Did you know you could change that? So those guided recipes, when you're in them, you can still adjust them. It's got maximum temperature and it's got wiggly lines. Wiggly lines, push on it so that it's the largest one, we activate. And now we're going to do high heat. Now, as I said, TM31, TM5, if you were coming in now, you were doing probably 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. You may have to do longer. You were doing reverse, you were doing Voroma and slow stir, okay? Because you don't want to, you want it to move, yeah? Well, in my case, it stops. We are now a fry pan, right? So it's going to stay stationary. If I stop talking, you may hear the sizzle. Can you hear it? So it sizzles. And then every now and then you'll hear it do the rejig, right? It moves a little bit to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom or not sticking as much as it might otherwise. Now with high heat, you do sometimes get things stuck to the bottom. No big deal, okay? Either just give it a scrub with your scrubbing brush, or if it's really stuck to the bottom, it's black and it's hard, and this is even for a TM5, we put citric acid. 1 tablespoon of citric acid, that much water, cover the blades a little bit, and then put it on the kettle mode, or in the case of a TM5 or 31, you just want to put it on your Voroma temperature, and you want to put 10 minutes on the clock, and you want to get it boiling. It's the same thing you would do if you were descaling your kettle. Okay, that is how you descale a kettle. So, and then once it's done, obviously that water is super hot. It's only a little bit of water. Tip it out, get your scrubbing brush, keep your hands out. That stainless steel is quite warm still. Give it a little wipe down, and I actually use my spatula, rub it around, and usually black lifts. Now, this won't be black, now that I've said that. No, I don't think it'll be black. But there are times when you keep cooking on. Like if I went and did batches after batches after batches of these chicken strips, and I didn't take an effort in between to get rid of that marking in the bottom, obviously each time that's like a fry pan with something not moving. So it will cake on over time. Hello, Angeline. Lovely to have you on from New Zealand. So chicken strips. This could be beef strips if you preference, lamb strips. If you've not yet seen the gyros recipe, there's both, I think there's a chicken and a pork one. It is beautiful. And make your gyros and put it in a container. Let me see if I can show you my container while we wait. I don't know if we'll get through this today. So this is my gyros seasoning. I made a massive batch, and I've had this for a very long time now. Hello, Amy. Lovely to see you on today too. But make your gyros seasoning, and then when you feel like making something like that for lunch or dinner or putting it on pizza, or in our case in sushi, sprinkle it on. You've got it all sorted, okay? So the Thermomix just makes it so easy to make amazing food, right? So that's it from me today. I am actually heading over to the computer now. I'm just putting together a template. So you guys know, those of you who've been on my website over there and you've subscribed, the very first thing you get is a fridge, freezer, pantry essentials list from me. And I'm actually rejigging it. So I'm going to make it so that it's a bit more tick boxy style, so that you can kind of tick off what you've got. You can have it laminated if you like. Those of you who are supporters on Patreon, I'm going to make it so it's editable. You can actually change it for yourself, which is super cool as well. So otherwise, have a fantastic day. Take care in all you do. I'll get a photo of this when it's done. It won't be very exciting photo. How do you make chicken strips exciting, right? But if I can help you with anything about your Thermomix, reach out. I love to hear from you. I love to know what you're making. If there's something that's not turning out the way you hoped, please don't ever waste it. Please just over to my website, grab my details there and get in touch. I'm here to help you get the very most out of your Thermomix, TM31, TM5, TM6, whatever it might be. But otherwise, thanks for joining me today. Thanks to those of you who have said hi live, and I'll see the rest of you on replay later. Take care, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.